Well, if you're like me, you've gone up and down I-5 a million times over the grapevine, but you've never stopped at historic Fort Tejon. Well, Fort Tejon was established here in 1857 by that noted believer in great ideas, Secretary of War Jefferson Davis, who thought that a really great idea would be to introduce camels to the southwest of the United States as Army transport animals. So Fort Tejon is the place where in 1859 28 camels were delivered by a civilian contractor. They never actually did anything except for maybe one messenger mission. Otherwise, the Camel Corps, as it was falsely labeled, was a resounding failure. But this is a great place. This is an original barracks here from 1860, original stone. The original stockade is right behind me, right here. Self-serve. You can go in and lock yourself in, and it's $6 to park. But this is here at the top of the grapevine. That's the command building, the flag post right there, and it's a historic little piece of California with a touch of Civil War thrown in. And the appropriate rattlesnake and mountain lion warning signs are all over the place. So feel free to bring the kids. Fort Tejon. Don't miss that exit, or else you got to turn around 30 miles. All right, Fort Tejon, now going into the Garrison. The old commissary hospital used to be over there, and it was disassembled. This was the parade ground. Everything here was mounted, either horse pulled or you rode it. But there were some infantry. There were these guys, and these are recreations of period uniforms. These were some of these are the Second the Second Cavalry Regiment of the California Volunteers. It's a cool self-guided tour. You can do this. You dial that, and it walks you through it. I'm here on a Tuesday, and there is nobody here. It's a saddle, an original saddle, and here's some shooting irons right there. I know, hard to believe in California that these are just right there. But don't worry, they're chained in. The 1859 Sharps carbine, which frankly everybody in the Civil War on the Union side should have had. And then the famous Civil War musket, the 1861 Springfield. Here's the barracks. Not a lot of privacy here. Each guy had a bedroll. I mean, literally a bed that rolled, and it was filled with delicious hay. So you got your blanket, you hung up your kit, your boots, everything there. A common eating area. Then you had a foot locker that locked over there. Company commander or NCO in there. But pretty Spartan to say the least, I think you'd agree. And of course a lovely fireplace, because after all, it is a grapevine. So the Fort Tejon post commander was Captain Gardner. And 1 year after he was married, he brought his lovely bride to Fort Tejon, where they moved into a 4-bedroom house, or pardon me, well, a 4-room house. Over here, they had a lovely dining room with its own fireplace. Meals were also prepared in here, but usually sometimes in the parlor. Here they have a lovely parlor. And Captain John W. Gardner wrote to his parents, as you see, only think, 4 whole rooms. Decorated for Christmas. Fireplace. So let's go upstairs. What if Mrs. Gardner had a baby? Now remember, this is a captain, but he's way out here on the West Coast. These are pretty nice digs for a captain. in 1857. Budgets were pretty tight before the Civil War. So if you had a child, you put the child and the servant in this upper bedroom, which is pretty roomy, I gotta tell you. But where did the adults do their business? Well, this was Captain Gardner and his wife's bedroom. Furniture made by the post carpenter. Jesus Christ! So Captain Gardner and his wife Annie had this lovely 4-room house with an attached kitchen. Mrs. Gardner also kept, well, her chickens. And these are them. They describe her as kind, generous, and affectionate. And she had a garden right here. And you can't beat the view, right? Up here at 4,000 feet. But where do the bachelor officers stay? Well, this is not a stable. Well, it kind of is. It's a stable for lieutenants. This is where the officers stayed. This was the officers' quarters, made of adobe brick, and I mean real adobe brick. Actual conglomerate adobe brick that, as you see, is eroding over time. It was covered in stucco, but the officers had their little fireplace there. The walls in here were covered in stucco. You can see a little bit of it remaining there. But otherwise, a total dump. But then again, 1857 wasn't really known for its creature comforts, now was it? They bunked up in the same room and got to save a lot of money, I guess. I don't know what they did for recreation besides hunt. That's where the lieutenants watered themselves. And for fun, they would take a 2x8 and they would hit each other with it. Evidently. I might be making that up. And this was the root cellar. There used to be a roof over this, but it's local granite in a square with a little entry near the house, on the house side obviously, and it had a roof on it. And this is where you preserve stuff. So Fort Tejon, $6 to park right off the I-5. So next time you pass by the Grapevine, carve out, you know, an hour and walk through here. Pretty cool.